Living with someone struggling mentally can slowly destroy your relationship if you don't understand what's really happening. So, today I want to talk about something that affects millions of people but often gets discussed in whispers behind closed doors. And that's living with a partner who struggles with mental health. So, my name's Rick Cardwell. I'm a psychodynamic counsellor and a therapist. I've been for many years. And this is a short video to help you understand about mental health problems, mental health issues, particularly in how that relates within relationships. Now, somebody asked me recently, specifically, about living with a partner with borderline personality disorder or BPD. But honestly, this conversation applies much more in a broader context than that, because we can put this into depression, anxiety, trauma, addiction, ADHD, personality disorders, or emotional instability. Living alongside somebody who is struggling psychologically can be incredibly difficult. It's confusing, exhausting, and heartbreaking. Before I go any further, I want to say something important. Mental health is very complex. No two people are the same, no two relationships are the same, and no matter what anybody says online, these conversations can never fully capture the depth of somebody's lived experience. So if you're watching this thinking it's not that simple, I totally agree with you. It isn't. But we still need to talk about it honestly. Because despite greater awareness around mental health, more than ever before, I've seen this in my practice, we're also seeing more emotional distress, more relationship breakdowns, more anxiety, more loneliness, more addiction, and more people feeling psychologically overwhelmed than at any point in modern history. This is the reality of the world we now live in. And many partners feel completely lost. One of the reasons mental health is so difficult is because diagnosis itself can be incredibly complicated. For example, if someone goes to the doctors and says, I feel low, that low mood can be linked to trauma, stress, hormones, grief, burnout, sleep deprivation, isolation, nutrition, addiction, relationship conflict, neurodiversity, physical illness, or several things all at once. It's never simple. Even something like ADHD, and I want to be careful here, ADHD is the trend at the moment, let's say, and that has symptoms of overlap with chronic sleep deprivation. Now, I'm not saying ADHD isn't real, of course it is, it absolutely is. What I'm saying is this: mental health is a minefield. There are poor diagnoses, there are quick labels, there are addictive medications, there's an underfunded National Health Service, massively underfunded mental health services, and there are people waiting for months or years for proper support. Now, in the middle of all that, there are relationships struggling to survive. Now, opinions on mental health, they vary massively. You've got some people who think that everybody's mentally ill, and others believe that mental health doesn't actually exist at all. And then there are just the people who say, just get a grip, people, until life hits them, of course, until they lose somebody, until they burn out, until anxiety stops them sleeping, until depression enters their home. Then suddenly they understand one of the biggest mistakes I see in relationships is denial, the denial that mental health actually exists. A partner can say something's wrong and the other person says, no, there isn't. Honestly, when somebody you love is telling you they're struggling emotionally, dismissing it is one of the worst things that you can do. Because what the person often hears is, I don't care enough to face this with you. Acknowledging there's a problem doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean your relationship is broken. It means you're being honest enough to address reality. And if we don't acknowledge problems, we cannot solve them. Now, sometimes the signs are obvious, but often the signs are subtle and gradual. But there are some really common warning signs to look out for. And these are that your partner may increasingly isolate themselves. They may spend longer periods in their own room or withdraw emotionally. You may notice changes in sleep patterns, changes in eating, and a lack of motivation. They may rely more heavily on alcohol, drugs, gambling, scrolling, gaming, anything that numbs emotions or that distracts them from reality. You may notice difficulty concentrating or expressing themselves clearly. Sometimes people look emotionally distant, almost vacant, like they're physically present, but psychologically they're somewhere else. Another sign, another symptom, let's say, is mood swings can become very intense or more intense. Empathy can disappear during periods of emotional overwhelm, and for the partner witnessing this, it can feel incredibly painful. A lot of people start asking themselves, am I the problem? Am I not enough? Why can't I fix this? And this is important. You are not responsible for curing your partner's mental health. You can support somebody, you can encourage somebody, you can love somebody deeply, but you cannot heal somebody who refuses help, refuses honesty, or refuses accountability. That distinction matters enormously. Once you acknowledge there's a problem, education then becomes essential. And I mean real education, not TikTok diagnosis, not Facebook comment sections, not random opinions online. Proper research, qualified professionals, reliable information. If your partner has BPD, learning about emotional dysregulation. If they have depression, understand how hopelessness affects motivation. If trauma is involved, learn how hypervigilance has shut down their response work. Because understanding creates empathy, and empathy changes the way we communicate. Now, one thing I strongly recommend is to encourage to do, and I really encourage couples to do this, is magnify positive comments. When someone is struggling mentally, relationships can become dominated by problems. Conversations become about symptoms, arguments, the frustrations, or the fear. But human beings respond powerfully to encouragement and emotional stability and safety. So when your partner shows progress, however small, acknowledge it. If they communicate more openly, acknowledge it. If they make more effort, acknowledge it. If they get out of bed, go for a walk, attend therapy, sleep better, eat better, reconnect socially, even in small ways, focus on that and really encourage it. Because positive reinforcement matters and laughter matters too. Never understand the psychological power of moments of connection, human affection and normality. Mental illness can make life painfully heavy. Small moments of lightness can become real emotional lifesavers. Now, let's talk about communication. Communication is absolutely essential, but how you communicate really matters. Instead of "you never talk to me," try "I feel sad when we disconnect." Instead of saying "you're shutting me out," try saying, I miss feeling close to you. This is called speaking in the first person. It reduces blame and it reduces defensiveness. And it opens the door to dialogue instead of conflict. Now, does that mean you should tolerate abuse? Absolutely not. Boundaries still matter. Supporting somebody's mental health does not mean accepting manipulation, aggression, intimidation, cruelty, or emotional destruction. Compassion and boundaries, they have to exist together. And I also want to say this to the partners supporting somebody who's struggling. You need support too. Far too many carers and partners emotionally collapse because they spend all their energy trying to rescue someone. You need someone safe to talk to, someone grounded, someone emotionally mature, not somebody who simply fuels resentment or gives reckless advice. Now, support groups can be incredibly valuable because they remind people that you really aren't alone in this. One of the saddest realities of mental health struggles is that they can rob people very slowly, rob people of their lives. People stop living, stop connecting, stop dreaming, and stop hoping. And that's why small daily actions matter so much. Set low bars. Sleep matters, routine matters, exercise matters, connection matters, mindfulness matters, work matters, nutrition, sunlight, goals matter. None of these are magical cures, but together they create stability. And stability creates conditions where healing becomes possible. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is steady, slow and steady progress. Tiny improvements, repeated constantly over time, can completely change somebody's life. And if you're living with a partner who struggles mentally, I want to leave you with this. Do not lose yourself while trying to save someone else. Support them, love them, encourage them, learn, communicate, stay compassionate, but also protect your own well-being. And that means supporting yourself, loving yourself, encouraging yourself, and staying compassionate for yourself. Healthy relationships require two people being cared for, not one person drowning while trying to hold the other above water. And finally, if you are the person struggling mentally yourself, please remember this. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not weak for needing help. And your life can improve far more than you currently believe. Now, healing usually begins with honesty. Honesty about what's happening, honesty about what you need to change, and honesty about accepting support. So thanks for watching. I know this is a very sensitive subject and there are great divides in opinion on these things. And I understand that, and I respect people's opinions, their views on mental health, on ADHD, all these things that are going on currently. I get that. But if this video has resonated for you, then share it with somebody who may need it. And as always, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, the usual things that may help these videos get to other people who may need a kind word or some advice. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.